Twin Peaks has always felt like something that lived on late night TV, the kind of show you stumble onto when you should already be asleep. It has that VHS texture burned into it, grainy and a little warped, like it was meant to be watched through static on a tape someone forgot to rewind. That's part of what made it so haunting. Twin Peaks pulled you deeper and deeper, and once you were in, it never really let you out.
Nothing is what it seems.
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th.
In a town like Twin Peaks, now available for the first time in a special edition DVD collection.
I think that the biggest strength Twin Peaks had was its atmosphere. That's what really draws you into this world. The town itself felt alive. Those endless pine trees, the fog rolling over the mountains, the quiet streets where everything looked calm but never quite felt safe. Twin Peaks looked like a postcard, but the edges were frayed, and underneath there was something rotten. That mix of beauty and darkness gave it a weight that stuck.
I've lived in these old woods most of my life. I've seen some strange things, but this is way off the map. I'm having a hard time believing.
And this atmosphere was crucial to the whole show. It defined how you felt when watching it and what kind of vibe it projected. The color grading is warm and scenes are often filmed at inviting and cozy locations. Twin Peaks has this strong woody aesthetic, and you can easily imagine living in a place like that, ending your day in front of a real fireplace decorated with hunting rifles, smoking and drinking a coffee.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
It's that type of vibe, and you feel it everywhere, even at the police station. The diner, the sawmill, the lodge, even the gas station all had this cozy but dark mood that defined the whole show, in my opinion.
The evil that men do. Maybe it doesn't matter what we call it.
Maybe not.
And then there's Dale Cooper, one of the most unique characters on television. Calm, sharp, almost boyish in his enthusiasm, but with a seriousness that kept him grounded. He could deliver a line about cherry pie and coffee with the same conviction as a line about a brutal murder, and somehow it worked.
How do you take it? Black as midnight on a moonless night. Pretty black. I warn you, Albert's lacking in some of the social niceties. Nobody's perfect. Isn't that the truth? All right.
You look like a cop.
I'm the cop.
Cooper was our way into the town's madness, and he made the strange feel almost normal. Not to mention that he could also be hilarious as hell, and watching him slowly uncover the mysteries of the town was amazing. But what sticks with me the most about Twin Peaks is how it balanced tones. One moment you'd be watching a soap opera plotline with love triangles and family drama, and the next you'd be staring at something that felt ripped out of a nightmare. It swung between quirky comedy and genuine horror, and that contrast made the darker moments hit harder. The red room sequences, the backward speech, or the flickering lights. Those scenes didn't look like anything else on TV, and they burnt themselves into your head.
He wears a smile. Everybody run. He feeds on fear and the pleasures.
Ganger.
Hello. I was wondering if I might trouble you for a cup of strong black coffee.
It's really interesting how the show managed to mix these themes and genres without turning into a parody or going over the top. I mean, I know a lot of shows that tried that or are still trying it and are flopping pretty hard. The characters around town all added to that dreamlike feeling. The Lock Lady with her riddles, Audrey Horne with her restless energy, Bobby Briggs with his anger, and Laura Palmer, who haunted every frame of the show even though she was gone before it started. Her story was the spine of Twin Peaks, and it made the show heavier than it seemed on the surface. For all its strangeness and humor, it was still a story about tragedy, secrets, and how darkness hides in plain sight. Watching Twin Peaks feels like being caught between two worlds. There's the safe, familiar one with the warm glow of the diner and the comfort of Cooper's voice, and then there's the other one, the one with shadows that stretch too far and voices that don't sound right.
I did not kill anybody.
The show made both worlds bleed into each other until you couldn't tell where one ended and the other began. It's less like a TV show and more like a dream you can't shake or wake up from. This dreamlike feeling is really special because I feel like it carries the entire show. I mean, think about it. Twin Peaks has a certain surreal quality that is hard to explain. Even when everything seems normal or when there's humor on screen, things just feel off. Nothing ever feels right here, and this was definitely done on purpose by David Lynch.
Oh, it fell down.
That's one of the qualities that makes the show stand out so much. Twin Peaks to me will always carry that VHS energy. It feels like something you shouldn't have access to, like a cursed tape that pulls you in whether you wanted to or not. It's strange, beautiful, and unsettling, and it feels personal in a way most shows never do. That's why it's legendary, because even decades later, it still feels like nothing else.
Have you ever killed anybody?
Have you?
My father has.
During wartime.
That's different.
Different from what?
Deputy?
Anyone for a warm-up?
Oh,
yeah,
you bet, you bet.
Whenever I think about Twin Peaks, the first thing that comes to mind isn't the story or even the murder mystery, it's the feeling the show gives me. There's this strange, low-level tension running under everything, like a quiet hum you only notice after the room goes silent. The show never tries to scare you in the traditional sense. What it does is slowly get under your skin and leave you with the feeling of extreme unease, which to me has always been scarier and creepier than any horror jump scare or monster.
It is happening again.
A big part of that comes from how the town presents itself. At first glance, Twin Peaks looks cozy. Warm lights, friendly faces, fresh coffee, and those slow shots of the mountains and trees.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
But that warmth feels a little too perfect. The more time you spend in it, the more you start feeling like the whole town is covering something up. Not just the murder, but a deeper kind of rot that everyone senses but doesn't talk about. The forest plays a huge role in that. Those trees are always there, breathing in the background. They're beautiful, but they feel heavy. Whenever the camera drifts into the woods, the tone shifts. The colors get colder, and you get the sense that the forest is holding onto dark stories nobody wants to hear. I always felt like the woods were a character watching everything from a distance.
I've lived in these old woods most of my life. I've seen some strange things, but this is way off the map. I'm having a hard time believing.
The atmosphere also does most of the work, and I'd even call it a character of its own, since the show wouldn't be half as good without its incredible atmosphere. The fog over the forest, the empty hallways, or the way the camera lingers a second too long. David Lynch has a way of making familiar places feel slightly off, almost like you've walked into a dream where everything looks normal but nothing behaves the way it should. I always felt like the town was sitting on something old and restless. The woods especially don't look alive in a comforting way. What really adds to the creepiness is how the show treats silence. Long stretches where the music cuts out and you're left with nothing but the sound of wind or electricity. Twin Peaks lets scenes breathe until you start wondering why the moment is dragging out, and that's when the discomfort kicks in. It's like the show is daring you to sit in the uneasiness. The Black Lodge adds another layer of creepiness. The backward voices, the slow movements, or harsh red curtains make it feel like a place that shouldn't exist but somehow does. It doesn't explain itself or try to make sense. It leaves you wondering what kind of world these characters have stepped into, and the more you try to understand it, the stranger it becomes. That sense of being lost in something you can't understand is a different kind of horror. It's the type that gets into your nerves because of how Lovecraftian it is. What I think makes the horror of Twin Peaks so powerful is that it's not just supernatural, it's also human. Laura's story is terrifying because it's real, abuse, addiction, or pain hidden under a perfect surface. The show forces you to look at that and then layers the supernatural on top of it, as if to say the real monsters and the imagined ones aren't so different.
Hi, this nickel, any body.
Even the normal characters add to the unsettling mood. People talk in this clipped, strange rhythm like they're not fully present. They smile at the wrong moments or stare a bit too long. In my opinion, that's one of the show's strongest points. The horror doesn't come from monsters jumping out of the shadows. It comes from people who feel almost real but not quite, like actors in a dream who forgot their lines halfway through. And then there's the feeling that the town is cursed. Everyone seems weighted down by something they don't talk about. The sadness of the place mixes with the supernatural, and the result is the slow, creeping dread that follows every scene. The show doesn't give answers because the unease is the point. Bob is burnt into my brain. The way he appears, not with music cues or effects, but just suddenly there, grinning in places where he shouldn't be. That's scarier than any monster. It feels wrong in a way you can't explain, like you've seen something you weren't supposed to. Those moments stick with you long after the episode ends. Even now, I can picture him crouched at the foot of the bed, and it still makes my skin crawl. By the time you finish an episode, you're left in this weird space where the normal world around you feels slightly different. Maybe the shadows in your room look deeper, or the silence feels heavier, or you catch yourself looking down a hallway a bit too long. That lingering tension is what makes Twin Peaks so unsettling for me. It doesn't try to scare you, it just shifts your sense of reality until something as simple as a lamp humming in the corner feels like a warning from somewhere you can't see. To me, Twin Peaks has always been one of the scariest shows ever put on television, even though it doesn't play like a typical horror story. It lures you in with coffee, pie, and small town charm, and then it pulls the rug out from under you. That contrast is what makes it so unsettling. You're laughing 1 second, and the next you're staring at something that feels like it crawled straight out of a nightmare. Whenever I think back on it, it feels like a show that couldn't have come from anywhere else but the VHS era. It's strange, unsettling, and unforgettable.
Nothing is what it seems
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th.
in a town like Twin Peaks.